Hi, today we're going to go over how to install the IVMS-4200 program on your PC. That's the program you can use to view your cameras. So first step is we're going to navigate to www.centurytechsupport.com. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my internet browser and navigate to that website. Right, and once you're here, you're going to select Software Downloads. And the download we're looking for is this IVMS-4200 for PC. So go ahead and click that. And if you're using Chrome, it's going to put a little thing down here showing you the download progress. If you use Internet Explorer, it's going to ask you to save or run. You can just go ahead and click Run. Okay, and once the download finishes, go to wherever you saved it. Or you can just go ahead and click on it down here if you're using Chrome and hit yes if you're prompted. Now, one thing I should note is if you get asked at this point for a username and password, it means that you are not logged in as the administrator on your computer. In order to install this program successfully, you'll have to be logged in as the administrator while you're doing the install. So if you have an IT person who supports your computers, you'll want to go ahead and get in contact with them and ask them to please install this program for you. But if you are able to log in as the admin, or you already are, you should be good to go. So what you'll do is go ahead and click Next here, hit the I accept the terms of the license agreement, and then Next. And on this screen, we're going to leave everything as is. Not going to check or uncheck anything, just hit Next and then Install. And if yours sits at this stage for a while, don't be alarmed, it eventually will go. It just depends on how old your computer is, how fast or slow it is, but just let it do its thing. Okay, and once that's done, we're going to hit Next and then Finish. Okay, I'm going to minimize out of here, and it will put an icon on your desktop somewhere. It'll look like this and say IVMS-4200. So double click on that, and if you get prompted here, just hit Yes. And then it's going to ask us for a username and password. So you could match whatever password you have set on your camera system, or you could make something completely different. It's up to you. The only thing is it must be at least 8 characters long and have a mix of letters and numbers. And if you don't want to have to remember your password, or you don't want to be prompted each time, you can go ahead and click Enable Auto Login and then Register. Okay, and once that opens up, it should bring you into a page that looks like this. If it doesn't, if you end up over here, what you'll do is just click on Device Management. All right, and the next step is to enter the connection information for your particular camera system. Right, so we're going to hit the Add button up here. Right, and the information you need to enter in here, you can find it in a few different places. If you were a recent install, you should have received a document from the technician who performed the camera installation. It's going to look a little bit like this. And right here in this connection information spot, you're going to find the information you need to enter in on this screen here. So for the register mode here, or /adding mode, whatever's in there, that's what you're going to pick out of these options. Most likely it's just going to be IP/domain. All right, the nickname, you could enter whatever you want. I'm going to call mine Century. And then you just basically grab the info off of this form and fill it in as you see here, unless you change the password at the time of install to something else other than the default. So if you don't have that sheet or you misplaced it, you also may have received an email around the time of install containing the same information, so you could check that. Worst case, if you don't have that information anywhere, just give us a call. Here I have the number highlighted, 516-822-7770, and we can definitely help you out with connecting to your camera system and getting this connection information for you. But if you have that info, then you can go ahead and move on. So I'm going to put in the info for my machine here. So all I did there was I filled everything in, and then I just hit the add button. Right, and we saw that it put a serial number here. That tells us that it was successfully able to make the connection. All right, next step, we're going to go to Control Panel. And if you don't see main view or remote playback here, what you'll need to do is click on Selecting Modules and put a check mark next to main view and remote playback and click OK. All right, now in order to see our live cameras, we're going to click on main view. And right here where it says Sentry, and again mine only says Sentry because in device management, in the nickname field, I went ahead and typed Sentry, but yours will say whatever you put in this field. So all we need to do is double click and we'll get our live cameras. So if you want to enlarge a camera, you just do a double click and you're going to get a full screen image. If you want to go back to see all your cameras, just do another double click. All right, and it's just a couple troubleshooting steps. Let's say you run into an issue where you don't actually see this here, this list of cameras. What you'll need to do is go back into device management up here, and let me just replicate this for you. So you might find that your screen looks like this. If you didn't enter in the connection information exactly right the first time, and then let's say you edit it and put in the right password and then suddenly it connects, you're actually not going to see anything in this group tab here. So if you click on the group tab and you see that it looks like this, you'll want to click on this little add group button up here with the green plus and the yellow folder. You'll put a check mark here, all right, and click on the check mark next to Sentry or whatever your camera system says, right? Yours is going to say a different name, and then hit OK. And it's going to go ahead and put all the cameras there, and when we go back to main view, now you should see a list of all your cameras underneath a main folder. Right, one last thing you'll want to do is click on Tool up here, System Configuration, Live View and Playback, and right where it says Merge Downloaded Video Files, just set this to 1 GB and click Save. That's going to help a little later on, you know, when it comes time to save a clip if you have an incident there. And aside from that, that's the basic installation of the camera program.